In many places, including Arizona, voters are allowed to raise their concerns by forming initiatives and/or referendums. An initiative is a process or petition that allows citizens to propose new amendments for the Constitution. In Arizona, there must be signatures from at least 15% of qualified electors in order to propose an initiative for a constitutional amendment on the ballot, or signatures from at least 10% to propose an initiative for a statutory amendment on the ballot. One pro of allowing initiatives is that it helps to keep the peace and keep citizens happy because they feel like they are heard and have a say in governmental decisions. A con would be that some would argue that, in a sense, it gives the people too much power simply because there are many proposals that are not passed by voters. One study done by the Morrison Institute for Public Policy found that only 8% of initiatives in Arizona were successful from petition to passage. That statistic is not very high. However, it still allowed the people to try, and that often speaks volumes when it comes to political issues. A referendum is a process that allows voters to petition to reconsider acts done by legislator before they become effective. In order to create a referendum in Arizona, an individual or organization must submit an application and a minimum of 127,975 signatures at least 90 days after the legislature adjourns sine die, which is basically when they finish their meeting without deciding on a day or time to meet again. Similar to that of initiatives, one pro for referendums is giving the people a voice to say if there are constitutional topics they do not agree with. Voters are able to petition and demand reconsideration for legislative action they do not agree with before it becomes effective. One con that has been talked about with referendums is that some voters are not well informed when making this call to action. This can present a problem because if someone who does not have all the information starts a petition and is falsely informing others, unless they take a look for themselves, they could be making a decision that does not necessarily reflect their beliefs. Initiatives and referendums are similar in the fact that they give the people more say in governmental issues. If there is something that a citizen in Arizona is unhappy about, they have the ability to petition and start a process to create a law for it, or change an existing law if they can obtain enough signatures of other people who agree with their proposal. They are different in the fact that a referendum is ultimately decided by the General Assembly if it will be on a ballot or not. Initiatives allow the amount of signatures to decide whether the proposed amendment will be put on the ballot to vote on. Arizona has established a direct democracy within their state. A direct democracy is a form of democracy in which people decide on policies themselves rather than having representatives do it for them. Initiatives and referendums both support the idea of having a direct democracy because it allows the voters to take matters into their own hands and speak up and raise awareness when issues arise that they are not in favor of. This form of democracy allows voters to make decisions and have a voice that makes them feel heard and protected. This is a value that can be found in the Arizona Constitution as well. It is evident that Arizona is dedicated to making sure its citizens know their rights and feel like they can speak up when they are unhappy. Arizona is one of only 19 out of the 50 states that have a direct democracy. While some believe that direct democracy is the answer for all, others do not think that this is the case, because in many states having a direct democracy could potentially cause more problems. That is why, as a country, the United States has developed a representative democracy. If initiatives and referendums were allowed nationwide, there is a great potential for an increase in the number of unhappy citizens throughout the United States. While direct democracy seems to work in Arizona, along with the other 18 states that have it, it is unlikely that other states will be joining them in this anytime soon.